When we first decided to go through with planning this march in defense of Black lives, we did an Instagram poll just trying to predict how many people would actually show up to the march so that we could plan things like water, plan extra signs. We had 500 people say yes, they would show up. When we first actually got to the event, there was the predicted 500 people, but when people started actually speaking in the beginning of our march, there was a much larger crowd. It was probably 5,000 people that had gone there. By the time we had actually completed the march, we had someone else come up to us and was like, there's 10,000 people here. It was so surreal. Hawaii for Black Lives was born out of planning that march. And I think the mission after the march is just to continue fighting for Black lives within the Hawaiian Kingdom. One march does not solve racial injustice. Voting is something that is really important, but voting people into office will not solve racism. It will not solve any of these immediate issues that are happening in our country. I think that power comes from your community. You can build networks. You can have all of these other things without having electoral position. I think it's just about using your community to your advantage. Power is way more in the people than people that hold electoral positions. But you can't just stand by and hope that representatives just know that power lies within the people. It is something that has to be actively pushed. There is always a place for young people in this movement, specifically for events that will affect us when we are adults. Climate change is happening now, racial injustice is happening now. Playing a role in your future now is probably the most important thing you could do. I think that's what's changed for me since the march was a new sense of confidence, as well as realizing that youth voice specifically matter. Youth have not really had a seat at the table, specifically Black female youth have not had a seat at the table. And I think that being able to go up in front of 10,000 people and have people be so supportive allowed me to realize that my voice does matter.